welcome to the next episode of Powered by Geek Bomb. As hopefully by now you know, this is episode 3, and POWER is an acronym: playing, watching, reading, and we like to sneak in the D, which is doing or drinking. Unfortunately, I'm not drinking anything but water. Yay, that's exciting. I'm kicking things off as your moderator. I am Maude Garrett, and I'll be talking about playing. Joining me on the panel today with watching, we've got Kazle coming to you from Perth, Australia. He's just waving. Oh, and there's a dance. Hi. And for reading today, Ryan Faroki's read his first book in how long?
Longer than I care to admit, but I'll admit it, 15 years-ish.
And you didn't even read it, did you?
I listened to it. That counts these days.
It does count these days. And for doing, we've got Shona in here. Now, Shona, you've got a new last name. You've been married since we've last spoken to you. And where are you coming from today?
I am in India. We have an international panel today.
That's amazing. Hold on, what's happening over in India and what's it like? Because I see your updates and it looks like, it looks scary.
It is a little bit. No, I'm over here for work at the moment. So for those who don't know, I work as a telecommunications engineer. And basically it is fascinating, this country. There is something always going on. It's really vibrant and colourful, and there's so much to see everywhere. But at the same time, I mean, it's really a country of contrast. So there's a lot of poverty, there's the rich and the poor. The contrast is really, really strong. It's quite dirty in a lot of parts. So for all the bright colours and the really beautiful clothing that people wear, then there's a lot of rubbish and stray dogs and cows. All of that is true. The cows and that, it's everywhere. So it's a pretty amazing place though. I'm enjoying being here a lot.
I mean, getting those stamps in the passport. We've got plenty of people watching around all over the world as well. Adam Kennedy, who's already jumped straight in there with his Powered, watching from Dallas, Texas. So big shout out to you over there. Playing Punderdome is going to be available in stores soon. Watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Reading Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. And drinking, I'm guessing, is Saguaro Firewater.
Is that literal?
I don't even know what that is. I don't know, but that is freaking awesome. We've also got Kaz, who's going to be manning the tweets, and we'll all be jumping on as well. So if you want to tweet in, you can use the hashtag PWRBomb, and we'll see all your tweets coming through there. They have been coming throughout the week, which is really cool, so we can't wait to answer those at the end. So we kick it off with P. Hey. That's it.
P.
Yay.
Hope you don't need to pee.
That's true. Playing, for me, I'm actually really annoyed that I didn't find out about the open beta for Overwatch sooner. I found out on Saturday, not even a week ago, and pretty much all day Saturday, all day Sunday, I was playing that game. Guys, this is a must get or buy or put your hands on somehow kind of game, and I'll tell you why. I have played Blizzard games before. I've played Hearthstone. I've played a lot of WoW, and I've been clean for about 8 years. I was a little bit skeptical coming into this, knowing it was a Blizzard game. This is kind of like a really, really fun 6 versus 6 game in different maps and arenas. You've seen this kind of game before with Plants versus Zombies, with those, select what character you are, whether you're a ranged or you're a tank. Or you're a healer, and you go up against the other team, and you only have about 10 minutes to get the win. What Overwatch has done, which I really appreciate, is there's about 16 characters to choose from under 4 different classes. So you've got your tanks and your attackers, your defenders, your builders, and your healers. And in all of these, there's 4 characters to choose from, and even all of these have unique and different abilities. So when you only have 12 people in the game, 6 against 6, and there's 16 different types, you have to have a really balanced team, and everyone plays an integral role. And I get off from that. And the problem is people around the world haven't figured out how to strategize or work as a team with randoms and strangers, and that infuriates me. And I discovered that you can be in the team chat and you can yell at people in the game, and I have been doing that a lot. I didn't realize for the first half of a day that I was playing that everything that I was saying could be heard. I drop a lot of F-bombs. I drop a lot of, what the fuck are you doing? It's not hard. Oh my god, you idiot. Just get on the other side of the map. Okay, you're doing it. Good, good. You know, really aggressive. And then I heard someone else speak, and they were like, yeah, so we just want to get back to the base area. And I just go, immediate reaction, I can't help this. My only comeback was, I have a dog.
Hey, I have a dog, okay?
But like,
the dog just needs to go across the map.
And it was like the way that I said it, where it was like I was clearly special. I have a dog, and then everyone shut up after that.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
I was like, what have I done? But the characters that I've been gravitating towards are a character called Diva, the letter D-VA. She's this like kind of Harajuku Japanese girl who has like this mech warrior kind of suit. So her strength lies in this suit, and you start off with it, and you've got good fire range, and you've got a lot of defense, and you can jetpack towards people as well and ambush them. But as soon as your health expires, you get propulsioned out of your suit, and you have no abilities, just a gun, and you've got not much health. So the trick is to kind of, when you're in the suit, do damage, and then as soon as you're out of the suit, get out of there. And I realized too late as well that she's got a self-destruct mechanism. So if you're getting ambushed, you press it, and then you hightail it, and it blows up. And I've gotten a few play of the games doing that. Another player that I'm really into is called Mercy, and she's legit just a healer. I am really kind of protective of this character in a weird way, because I've found out that she can actually increase everyone's maximum health. And of course, the best time to do this is in that 30-second window before the doors open and the game starts. So if anyone decides to choose Mercy, I'm like, all right, here we go. And when the game starts, if they haven't leveled up everyone's health, I'm on that chat reminding them how to game. I'm not proud of this, guys. I feel like this is almost like a confession booth for me. But I've gotten very, very good at Mercy. Her abilities are, if you can see a teammate, you press a trigger and she'll fly over quickly to that person so that you can heal them. And she's got this healing ray gun. But if you press another button, flips it, she can do small attack, but she's basically just to heal. So when you're on the opposite team, or like you can see you're against a Mercy character, she's very vulnerable, and she's the one that you should go for. That's what I play. I'm wondering, Bombers, does anyone else on the panel play Overwatch? Did you get your hands on?
No.
I want to play it now. Like after hearing all of that cool stuff,
Sounds really
sounds pretty
fun.
awesome to me. Is it first person?
I mean, you can play in a first person. I think you could also play third person. Or is it just first? No, it's just first person.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
Yeah, it is.
That's different. Isn't it different for a Blizzard game? Or unique?
It is very different from a Blizzard game. Usually they do MOBA kind of games, or card games, or open world games. So in this instance, I haven't really seen a game like this from them. I have seen similar games before. I actually really like Plants vs. Zombies. The only problem is, again, I didn't know that the chat box was open, and I was, you fucking idiot, what the fuck's wrong with you? Turn around and pick up the... And I just hear this voice go, hello.
Mom.
And it's like a 6-year-old kid.
You just start crying.
I was like, I'm so sorry. No wonder you had no idea what you were doing.
Hey, it's okay. You have a dog.
I have a dog. So I really do like these games.
What's the learning curve on it? Because I've played, like I was into Dota for a while, but I mean the amount of time that you need to invest to get really good at that game is crazy. So is this something that's geared towards people who don't need to like pour hours and hours every week into it?
I mean, you do level up, and the more that you level up, you get what's called a loot, and you unlock the loot, and 4 kind of treasures or upgrades or even just skins or voice sound effects are available to you, and you choose and pick only the one that you want, and that's all you get. You get 1 out of the 4 options. And sometimes it's a new ability for a character that you like, and that's the goal, obviously, not to look pretty, but to have the better ability. That unlocking feature at each level kind of makes you want to keep going back for more, because you do want to be stronger. You are pitted against people around the same level as you, so it's always gratifying gameplay. I found that it was just one more, because I was I mean, you've got 16 characters to choose from. And say you're starting a game and 2 people have already chosen the 2 characters that you like, you'll try something else and you have to even the team out. So you can't have all tanks, you can't have 4 healers and 1, you've got to find a really nice balance. And so I've tested all of the characters, but you really have to play it a lot to get familiar with how that character works best and using their different abilities. So Tracer, who is basically the face of the game, she's the one in those orange hot pants or the tights where she's got a wedgie and she's like, "Ee!" Her ability is speed and agility. So you'll press a button and she'll zip forward, like almost teleport almost, like ahead. And so you're very, very evasive. And she's got very, very fast ammunition. And she's also got this ability where if she's running low on health, you press the trigger and she'll back up almost like 15, 20 seconds to a place where she had more health. And the amount of times I got so stuck into it and forgot that I could actually evade the situation meant that I was wanting to go back and really, really nail that character. It's pretty good entry level. You can get frustrated if you're not really good at shooter games. I find that my targeting sucks. So I don't gravitate towards like the sniper characters, but at the same time there's another character called Farah. She's like Cleopatra kind of design, but she's got this suit where it's a rocket, like it propels you up so you can look down at the team and you've just got rocket launchers. So you just jump up and just shoot down and like hopefully you hit something. So there really is that's it. And it's a character, there's a character for everyone. There is a defensive character called May. I'm calling it right now. May is the troll character because she can erect frozen walls, and the intention is that if there's an onslaught of battle, she'll put that up and no enemies can fire through and you've got shield, like a protection. I play, when you respawn, you're in an enclosed room and you've kind of got to exit there.
I know where this is going.
A character on my team sat in that starting room, and every time you ran out to go to battle, she'd put the wall up and stop me from entering the game. So not only was it really 5 versus 6 because this character wasn't doing anything, it was just to fuck with us. And this was when I didn't know that my chat was open. I dropped C-bombs at this person. No. I was nasty and frustrated as all hell, and I have a feeling that person absolutely loved it because they were they had the targeted effect on me. So I wanted to ask everyone else on the chat using either the hashtag powerbomb or talk to me in the video stream, like in the comments down below, because that's coming up as a feed. Alana Young, hey there, fellow bomber Alana. She's been playing Overwatch as well. She says it's incredible. Mercy, the healer, and Hanzo, who is like a Native American bow shooter, are my favorite characters. Flying around the map to heal people is so much fun. And Ollie Mawson, hi Ollie, excuse me, it's pizza. Also said, I had so much fun with the Overwatch beta. With all the different characters, it kept things really fresh and interesting. Interesting.
It had a ring to it.
I forgot how to say interesting for a second.
I mean, it's...
Is it?
I also think I had a big advantage over some other people. My dog hadn't chewed my controller half to death. Yeah, shout out to Zelda one time who ripped the toggle sticks off my PlayStation 4 and I still battled through. And it was like breaking skin and I was still playing it.
That's dedication. That's serious dedication.
It's a great game. Guys, I honestly, if I can play it for 2 days straight and still love it, I'm going to give this game like a 9 out of 10 so far. I absolutely would recommend it to everyone. And I'm really banking on having a good team so that we can log on at the same time and be in the same server. And like me and 5 people who really know our, characters can fuck shit up instead of going with strangers who have no idea. Anyway, that's me done for playing. What is everyone else playing at the moment? Shona, are you playing anything?
Yeah, I've got my 3DS since I'm traveling, so I've been playing Hyrule Warriors Legends. This game just has so much content. Even though I played it on the Wii U, they've packed so much more into it, and it's a really fun portable game. It's I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's basically a Zelda version of Dynasty Warriors, and it's basically you run around and just kill a ton of monsters, just like hack stuff up, and it's just really, really fun.
Sounds like my kind of game, just simple, straight to the point.
Is it better than the Wii version?
I mean, I think there's probably some of the new content, like there is more to it. I think usually it is more fun to play on the console than on the handhelds, just because you don't have as much power and all of that. But this game is really fun to take on the road. So, like, I was really stressed out from work last Friday night. So I'm like, and I was just emotionally drained. I didn't want to think about anything. I just opened up the game and just lost myself for like 2 hours. It was good stress relief.
Perfect.
It's good to be able to take things with you.
Yeah.
If you guys are 3DS players, have you heard about the 3 starter Pokemon?
Yes.
They're adorable. They're so funny.
They're really funny, and I've been enjoying everyone who's been making fun of them as well. I've seen some really funny stuff on Twitter.
What do you think about them?
Why would anyone make a fucking Pokemon that's a clown?
They definitely don't look like Pokemon.
I've got a bone to pick with Pokemon. Remember when they were really cute and like, yay, I want a dog. Oh, you want a puppy. Everyone wants a puppy, and then you're like, oh, now I've got a dog. Everyone wants like the cute little versions of everything.
Right.
And now that's just like Pokemon have gone a little bit like, honestly, this could be a Pokemon. Oh, it's Spoonsy.
Spoonsy.
It evolved into a four.
There's like a rubbish bag, like it's basically a pile of trash Pokemon called Trubbish. And there's like a keyring Pokemon. There's like an ice cream cone Pokemon.
That ice cream one I've got a problem with. And it evolves, and there's 3 scoops instead of 1.
Yes.
Like, it's not alive. I'm not alright with that.
I just captured Twist Tie.
I prefer, I like the Nicki Minaj one. At least it looks like it's a... What is that thing? A Twist Tie?
It's a Twist Tie. It's a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon I just got.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it evolves into... bread bag.
Bread baggy.
A bread baggy.
Mousy Mode.
Yeah. But you know what? When you have like 700 and something Pokemon, I understand. I'm just like, maybe I'm elitist because I'm the first gen. Excuse me, I keep burping. This pizza's not agreeing with me. Alrighty, that's definitely playing done. Let's move on to watching. Kazleberry, what's watching?
Watching, we had another episode of Watch This Space this week, and I didn't feel like I had enough time to talk about anything that was in the episode. So this is just now my time to gush about everything exciting that happened. So we did a spotlight on Stargate SG-1. So that was really exciting. Stargate. That's Game of Thrones, not Stargate. I'm not going to try and sing the theme song again. So we, Maddie and I started talking about how exciting it was having a show when we were younger that was really positive about women, and I also loved how positive it was about nerds. Like, there were a lot of really nerdy main characters in the show that... In other shows, they would just be the nerd. They would just be smart, and that's the only thing that would be about their character. And I just loved how complex everyone was. Each character had a personality as well as being smart. So, yeah, that was the main thing that I wanted to gush about that we didn't have time for. Shona, you're a massive fan, aren't you?
Just really quickly before we go in there, as someone who hasn't watched any Stargate ever at all, what's a good entry point, and where is it currently available now? Do I have to watch a box set, or is it on like Hulu, Netflix?
A good entry point is, I might be elitist, but right from the 1994 movie. And I'm pretty sure I don't know about in the US, but I'm pretty sure in Australia the only way to watch it at the moment is on box set. I think that Netflix has Atlantis, but not SG-1. So, yeah, I would go right from the movie with Kurt Russell and James Spader. It's not canon 100% with the show. Like, the show does change a lot of things just to make it easier to explain the way that they wanted to. But the first episode of SG-1 happens about a year or so after the movie, so a lot of things you wouldn't understand if you started from episode 1.
Yeah, I have to agree, but I actually thought the movie was boring. So, and I am a massive, massive Stargate fan, but when I first saw the movie, I thought it was a bit boring. It moves quite slowly. I mean, it does a lot of world building, which is cool, but it basically just takes place on the one planet. And so when they started the TV series, like, I was pretty young, I thought, well, you know, the movie was boring. I'm not going to watch this. But fortunately, my parents were watching it. So one day I was at home and they had it on, and I thought, oh, well, I can't be bothered moving. And I watched it and realized, oh, they're going through the Stargate and visiting all these other planets. And I just loved it. And then my imagination was captivated and I was hooked. And then I went back and watched it all from the start.
Guys, do you want to hear the good news?
Yes.
Holy shit. Stargate SG-1 in full, available on Hulu. Stargate Atlantis, all episodes, available on Hulu. I'm still scrolling through.
Yay!
So many episodes here. Oh my goodness. Stargate Universe, all episodes in full. Wasn't that guy in he's always the evil guy.
So many other things.
Once Upon a Time, this particular guy is like
Yeah,
Wormtail.
Robert Carlyle.
Yeah,
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin, I think. Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin.
He always looks like
Very
he needs
creepy.
chapstick. So Hulu, there you go. I've got no excuse anymore.
No excuse.
No.
It's so good.
No.
I commented on your...
Like, honestly, it's a bit dated. It's a little bit dated watching it back now, but I think it's good enough that it makes up for that.
So let's go through them all. There's Stargate, SG-1, Atlantis. What else was there?
Universe, and then Infinity as well.
Yeah, it was like an animated series, Infinity.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's the two movies as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite of the series?
I only watched SG-1 start to finish. I watched Atlantis sporadically as it was on TV, and I've watched the first season about 4 times trying to get into it. It's just, and I never even started Stargate Universe. I just love SG-1. And the other shows are different. They're different shows. They have different feels. They're a lot darker, a lot more serious, a lot more modern. And I don't know. I liked SG-1 for being SG-1.
I have a question. Can I jump in on any one of the series, of the various separate series that it had, and just watch one of those, or will I need to have seen prior to know what's happening or going on? Or they're very different? Between like SG-1
Shona, could you?
Yeah,
this one?
I think that if you were to jump in, there's probably a few things that you won't get at first. There's definitely like a recurring villain, certainly for the first 8 seasons of SG-1, but I think you will pick it up pretty quickly after a few episodes. I mean, it's pretty clear who's the bad guys, and you start to get to know the characters really well. So, I mean, as I said, I actually started watching, I think, close to the end of season 2, and I just picked it up over time and got to know these characters really well, and then went back and, watched the first seasons a few years later. So, yeah, I think definitely you could jump in, but I would recommend watching it from the start just so you get all of the cohesive story.
Right. I'm pretty interested. It looks like a really cool show.
It's really fun.
I feel like it... Okay, a big selling point for me is that one of the, I don't even know which one, maybe it was Atlantis, got in Claudia Black and Benny Browder. And as a huge Farscape fan, Farscape is available on Netflix, no excuse, introducing their 2 main characters. They had such good chemistry, so to take them as like a duo and bring them over could be what gets me there.
Yeah,
But
you know, they're not all of that much of a duo in the show. Like, they come on at the same time, but they have they wanted to make it very much not Fastgate 2.0. So they have a lot of back and forth, but they pair her with one of the existing characters more, and they have the exact same chemistry. You really see it's Claudia Black. It's not necessarily her and Ben Browder. Nothing against Ben Browder, he's also excellent. But it's Claudia Black. She's just amazing. She's got chemistry with everyone.
Yeah, she actually came on just as a guest character in one episode, and yeah, she was so popular that they brought her back, and then she became like a main character for the last 2 seasons.
She's also a voice in something. What is she? I'll have to get a fact checker.
She's in Uncharted. Uncharted 2.
Yep. That's the one. We've got Burasuta at the Grey Bomb. Hi there, who says, my all-time favourite episode of Stargate SG-1 is from Season 1, The Nox. The Nox. I don't know.
Oh, yes. That was a fantastic episode.
You guys are like, the Nox, yes.
Yeah. The 5th race. That's us.
Ollie Mawson has been commenting on the YouTube page and says, Stargate SG-1 fan heat for life here. The show was so good. Pretty much all the main characters were individually great, and Carter was a legit badass role model for women. She was one of the first female characters in a sci-fi show to be just as tough as the rest of the gang around her. That's cool.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was one of the things that I jumped the gun and started talking about too soon, because it excites me so much, because she wasn't painted as, like, she was the token female because it was 1997 when the show started, so they had one female. But it was never, you know, when you watch shows sometimes and it's very obvious that she's just the girl. It's the same as with the nerd thing. She was a girl and they made a point of it in the first episode, and then it just kind of stopped. After Season 1, it was just like, okay, this is Major Samantha Carter, not Lady Samantha Carter, who's a female.
Gotcha. We've actually got a pro tip from X525 Crossfire, who's weighed in on the whole Stargate debate and said, I absolutely love the Stargate franchise. It was the first thing I had in common with my brother. It and Atlantis are totally worth committing to. And the animated series Infinity wasn't bad either. But I was a kid when that came out, so my view may be jaded. But fuck Universe. You tried to be their version of Star Trek and it ended up a steaming pile of crap. Ladies, disagree or agree?
I agree. Yeah. I was really sad that they cancelled Atlantis for Universe. Atlantis, you said before that you found it a bit too dark. I think it's pretty similar overall to SG-1. I mean, they have their team of 4 and they've all got their own personalities. There is a bit of a darker theme. Certainly the villain and the way the show starts is a bit more dark. But overall, SG-1 and Atlantis, I think, complement each other really well. But Universe, it's, completely different. And I didn't like it.
I actually got to sit down and have a chat with Joe Flanagan, who was in Stargate Atlantis when he came to Perth for Comic-Con this year, and I asked him how he compared the shows, and he said that SG-1 was Superman and Atlantis was Batman, and I was just like, that's exactly how I see it.
Yeah.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, if you're in America and you've got Hulu, no excuse. You can watch all of the Stargate stuff up there. I'm putting it on my list of things to watch. It's just as far-fetched and full as my list of books I need to read and games. I have to flip. Cool. Oh, that Professor 11 who's tuning in, hey there, said, I actually like Stargate Universe. Oh, no. Everyone's got different tastes.
To be fair, it did start to get good right towards the very end, and then it was cancelled.
Oh, that's a lot of time though spent.
Yeah. I think that the problem is that Stargate was ready for a rest. I think that it was ready to not necessarily die, and I think that forcing Universe might have made it die. But if they'd just taken a break and then in another 5 years brought something else back with a fresh perspective, or even Joe Flanagan was telling me that he was trying to revive Stargate Atlantis when it got cancelled. Like, he had investors ready to go. He had like scripts for like a plan for a whole season and how they were going to go about it. And because, oh gosh, I wish I remembered exactly what happened, but I don't. I try not to let studio politics cloud my enjoyment of shows, so I don't like remember it too strictly. But something went wrong with the studio, and they were going to sell it off, and then someone else bought everything, and then nothing happened. And he was like, "Hey, we had a handshake agreement on this, and nothing came of it. No one called him back." So that's really disappointing.
And I heard that there were plans to at least do a movie to tie it up, because that's what happened with SG-1. They had a movie which basically wrapped things up after season 10, and then Atlantis, when that finished, that actually ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, and there was supposed to be a movie to tie that up to, and then, yeah, because of all the stuff that happened with the studio, it just never happened.
Right. I like that they had the movie just to put, just to tie up all loose ends, like what they did with Firefly. It kind of works, and you have gratification. You're like, yeah, done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're actually making some more. Oh, sorry. One more thing about Stargate. I promise I'll stop talking. They're actually making some more Stargate movies, apparently, but they are nothing to do with the TV show. They are either a remake or a sequel to the original 1994 movie, and they completely ignore the rest of the extended universe that SG-1 Atlantis and Universe have.
Wow, it's like a rebirth. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Basically the guy who...
It's a bit of a fuck you to everyone that's a massive fan of SG-1. Like, SG-1 was way bigger than the original movie, so...
Yeah, the guys who did the original movie actually don't really like what the TV show turned into. So the original movie was meant to be a trilogy, but then after the first movie, they did Independence Day, and that was massive, and that blew up. So at the same time, SG-1, the show, grew, and that took off. And they've basically said, oh yeah, I think we're just going to reboot. So they're planning to do another trilogy and scrap the canon of the TV show.
Oh, wow.
Was that 22 years worth of stuff?
But they have been talking about it for quite some time, and it hasn't happened yet. So I'm not sure how far in development it is, or if it's just talk.
I'm constantly trying to find some news about it, because I want it to die. I'm not gonna lie, I want the project to die. I don't want to see that happen. I want SG-1 and all of that universe to be Stargate forever.
Fair enough. If you do want to hear Kaz talk a lot more about Stargate in all facets, I learnt things from it, which is great. You're on the YouTube page for Geek Bomb. Click subscribe, go through recent uploads or Bomb Squad, and there you can see Watch This Space, Episode 2, featuring Kazle and Ziana. I love hearing you guys talk about it and comparing your signed box sets and this is why we're nerds. This is why we're nerds. Also, a comment here from Fernanda Linhares, I hope I didn't butcher your name, that I'm so jealous of Ryan's shirt. All of them look great. Good job, Maude and Ryan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go on, Ryan. I'm going to use you as my live model. Check this one out. Designed by Ryan. I was like, I want to have this kind of thing. Can you do it? And this is what he came up with. It's pretty, phenomenal. They're pun guns. So when you're firing up your puns, pow! And you guys can get that one at t.pub/lick/Geek Bomb. So it's from TeePublic, and they've split up their URL really conveniently for all of us. We've got a range, actually, for a limited time only on there. We've got 3 Star Wars designs designed by Ryan here, who you see. They're Star Wars puns on shirt. I bought puns with buns, and I bought our most popular design, like a Bosk. So I can't wait to rock those ones out as well. But there's also Ewok up like this, and it's the Ewok.
Yeah, got the funny face.
So they'll only be available for about another week, and then you'll never see them again, except on my body because I bought them. Limited prints, yeah. So we can actually put the link in the description of this video as well, so you can click and grab those shirts. They're actually really reasonably priced, and they come quickly, don't they, Ry?
Well, yeah, they do. And they're good quality, too. I got the Heather Gray material. They have different materials you can choose from, so it did arrive quick and very comfortable. I like it.
Yay! Staying on you're covering reading this week for PWR'd.
I know.
What you been reading?
Well, that's something I never thought when I was signing up for these podcasts. I'm like, well, I'm never going to do reading. I watch stuff. Sometimes I play stuff. But no. And then I don't know if anybody saw the last episode that I was on. It was the launch episode, I believe. Someone was having technical difficulties. I was available. I came in to join, and I was covering reading, which was what the person previous was covering. And I really all I had to talk about was this George Carlin book that I have, rest in peace, God bless his soul. And then also I talked about the fact that I kind of have difficulty, or I've always had difficulty, kind of comprehending what I read. I get my brain kind of races, so I have to read stuff several times to kind of register it. And when I was on here last time, everybody suggested audiobooks, and I've given it thought before, but this was kind of like, okay, I'll try it, like for real. Now I'll try it. And so I got Audible, and it gave me a free trial on a book, and everyone in here recommended.
Do you use SourceFed's code?
I tried to. I didn't.
We don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I just kept guessing, like SF Nerd Table. I don't know, but everybody recommended audiobooks, and then everybody recommended kind of Ready Player One. It seemed like a few people in the Hangout were on the same page. So I'm like, sure, video game book sounds cool. I downloaded it. I start listening to it at work because I sit in front of a computer all day and I'm just bored out of my mind most of the time. And it was such a cool way to pass time while working. And I didn't think I'd get into it, but immediately I'm like, oh, this actually works. Like, on a side note, if you're out there and you have trouble reading or comprehending, really legitimately try an audiobook and legitimately try Ready Player One, because I was so surprised at how much I enjoy listening to this book. And I just finished it today, in fact. And it was a great story. It just has everything you want in a story. And I haven't talked about a book in so long that I don't even know how to review a book. Because I swear to God, Goosebumps might be the last thing I read. So yeah, I loved all those Goosebumps books, and that's kind of when I started losing focus on reading all that. I think Harry Potter might have been the very last book I read, the first one.
Don't worry about reviewing the book, because we've actually, Shona and I think we reviewed the book separately, and then we actually got Ernie Klein on at a separate time, I think last year, and spoke about Ready Player One with the author as well. So they're all searchable on the Geek Bomb page if you want to check out that interview. And I'm actually, I forgot, but I'm editing. I forgot that I was editing it for a week, but I am editing my best fantasy picks, and Ready Player One is on it as well. So what did you love about it? What resonated with you?
It's really relatable in a way that it's realistic and unrealistic kind of at the same time. It's futuristic, where there's a computer world and everybody's kind of engulfed in this internet, but it's almost like today, where people are pretty much like that, but they're literally strapped in and plugged in, almost like the Matrix. It's called the Oasis. It's an operating system in a world. It's a game pretty much, and they're so immersed. They're wrapped in clothes that have haptic feedback and everything, so they can fully experience everything. But I guess what I really liked about it was just following the journey of the main character, who went by Parsival as his alias, and going back and forth between the real world and kind of seeing what's going on there, and the exciting things happen in the real world, then it jumps back into the internet world, and I just felt like I related, and had a little love story on the side. It has everything really you want in a good story, action, and I really enjoyed hearing action sequences in a book form, if that makes sense. It's something that I hadn't experienced in a very long time, so it was cool to have like video game action sequences described to me in a storytelling way. So I gotta say,
really quickly, Ryan, I want to embarrass you. Feminist Pizza Party has started a hashtag team Fanroki.
Oh,
I don't know if that's
great.
typing error or if it's Fanroki, but I'm just trying to get that hashtag started while you're talking about the book.
Okay, well, get it started, I guess. I'm not embarrassed. It's cool. That's awesome. Thank you.
Fanroki. So why do you like the action sequences in this? Because like what I love about it, it's like basically Ernie Klein was like, this is everything that I loved about being a geek in the 80s. I like Voltron, I like this, I like that, I like these animes, I like this computer game, I like that. And they're like bringing it to life, and it's in a world that's accessible.
Yeah, about the action sequences, what I like? Yeah, it was just more detailed than it was more detailed than I ever thought I could picture in an action sequence. It was I don't know if you meant specifically for this book or in books in general, but
This book.
Yeah, for this book, it obviously had a really video game oriented action set. So they're not just really fighting; they're strategizing and they're leveling up and using their inventory, and it just feels like you're inside of a game, but you're also inside of the real world. And it was relatable in the sense that you felt like you were playing a video game, but you also felt like you were watching a battle, and you could kind of hope that he does what you think he should do with the stuff he has in his inventory, and it was so cool. It's hard to describe, but that's kind of what I got from it.
I want to go off topic really, really quickly. Shona and Kaz, how do you say inventory?
Inventory?
Inventory.
I say inventory.
Same. Oh, thank God. Because I was like, inventory. When I was doing Dungeons & Dragons on SourceFed, and all the editors laughed so hard at me. They're like, inventory? I'm like, inventory.
I mean, they both sound alright.
Is it the Australian accent, maybe?
No, I think it's from only reading the word for so many years. Everyone I know that had read it says inventory, and everyone I know that heard it says inventory.
There's so many words I say different. I'm sick of sounding like an idiot because I start questioning myself. I'm like, no, I say don't patronize me. And they're like, it's patronize. I was like, well, you're doing that.
That's it right there. That's patronizing right there.
Yeah.
That's definitely English and American because, or Australian and American, because I saw a comedy skit where a guy was like, someone came up to me after my show and said, you know, I thought you were funny, but I found you quite patronizing. He says, actually, it's pronounced patronizing.
Right.
Yeah.
And by doing that, it is exactly what it is.
Great.
Hold on. Whoa. Super TJ 2003 in the chat was like, it's not inventory. Not to you.
Not to you. It's not. Hey, I'm gonna start saying inventory. How about that?
Well, no, you might piss off Jim Moriarty. Hi, Jim, who said, so much Australia, except for Ryan. Go America.
Nah, yeah, nah. Happy to join you guys.
Oh, yeah? Check it out.
There
Got
it
an
is.
Aussie Ryno. Fernanda Linares, I'm so sorry about your name. Fernanda, hello. She said that she used SourceFed's codes on Audible. Now she just has to start listening to it. And her copy of Ready Player One just arrived today. She ordered it after I talked about it on a Table Talk. I brought it up on Table Talks and different shows as well, and I just want a lot of people to read that book because I think it's great. What would you give it out of 10, Ryan? And to everyone else who's read Ready Player One, what would you give this book out of 10? Use the hashtag, use the comments below, let me know.
Well, usually when I rate things, I have kind of something to compare it to. But since I hadn't read a book in so long, I mean, it was so good on its own that I feel like for now I gotta give it. Well, I'll give it a 9 out of 10, so at least I have a little bit of room for something else. But it was fantastic, definitely 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Shona, you and I reviewed it. What did you give it then? What do you give it now?
I don't remember what I gave it then. I mean, I love the book. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. There was the one thing I didn't like is that I felt a little bit like Ernie was sometimes trying to push his own views onto the readers a little bit too much. He could be a little bit repetitive sometimes. But apart from that, I mean, this is like every geek's fantasy, this book. Bring it on. I can't wait till the Oasis gets invented, which I think it was already meant to have been invented by now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's not too far away, I don't think.
Kaz, have you read
2012?
Oh, right.
Yes.
Kaz,
Yeah, I'm the same as Ryan. I listened to it on audiobook. And I think actually it might have been my free one on Audible when I signed up using the SourceFed code.
Hey, there it is.
Ah, you did too!
Yeah.
So cool.
Can I just have a little bit of a minute to gush about how great Audible is, though? Like, if you don't like a book, you can just return it, and you get your money back, and you can buy a different book.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, if you get partway through a book and you're like, this is a bit crap, I wish I hadn't picked this one, you can just return it, and you get your credit back, and you buy a different book.
What if you finished the book and didn't like it?
You can still return it. You'd be like, that was awful. I wish I had those 15 hours back. You can get your money back.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that you get...
And their customer service is just, you can tell, like, I'm sorry, Australia, but you can tell the difference between an Australian company and an American company when it comes to customer service, because they have American-level customer service. I called up and cancelled. I was like, I haven't been using it lately. I don't want to spend $15 a month on it anymore. And they said, well, how about we just put it on hold for 3 months, and you can still use the credits that you've got and listen to the books that you've got and just use your, account the same as you normally would, and you just won't get charged anything. And so I was like, okay, spent, another month not really listening to anything, and then I was like, I want to listen to this book, and then I just started again. It's so fantastic. I love Audible. They should start paying me to promote them.
Reckon. What's in everyone's library for Audible that you haven't read yet? I think I've got 3 more Harry Potter books. I'm going to do the George R.R. Martin other Game of Thrones book that's not the Game of Thrones book, and I think I may start Legend of Drizzt again. Dangerous. Who else has got some books in their Audible account?
I have the Chronicles of Amber sitting in there that I'm going to finish because Sam Whitwer likes them. He recommended them in a Powered that he did for us on Instagram a while ago, I think. And I think Will Wheaton narrates the second book. So I was like, he narrates the second series or something. So I'm going to get through the first series because I love Will Wheaton's reading, but I just can't do it. I'm not interested in the characters at all. I don't care what happens to them.
What is it called again?
Chronicles of Amber.
Chronicles of Amber. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. The main character is this kind of like, he's obviously meant to be like an Iron Man type, like he's a bit of a jerk, but you're meant to love him anyway, and I'm just like, nah, he's too much of a jerk. I don't like him at all.
I've got no credit. Oh, I can't find Chronicles. There's 10 books?
That's why I haven't finished them.
It's overwhelming, man.
That's 10 books. Oh, fuck it. You got to start somewhere, right? Excuse me for my language. Can I just hijack the end of reading, because we have been talking about Audible. Something that I haven't really done, I don't really read comics. I have read some. I really got stuck into the Star Wars ones. Unfortunately, rest in peace. Some of these issues, including Vader, is going to finish at 25, even though they're up to 20. But I went into DC today, and as I was leaving, they're like, did you want some books? And I went, yeah. I want to show them all off. I got Grayson. Yay! I love Dick Grayson, who is Nightwing. I got this one, which is like still wrapped up in its cover. It's Batman the Dark Knight Unwrapped, David Finch, and it's all black and white. They've stripped all the color out of the Dark Knight series for this one. I've also got Harley and Power Girl. Blondes Unite. They are still unrealistic, though. Can we just really take note that that's just never going to happen for some people, including myself? All right. We got this one here is also an Earth 1 Wonder Woman. I mean, again, like, that's just... Anyway, so, apparently this one's very, very good. Teen Titan, I'm a fan of, and I want to get back into these. They don't look like the cartoon series, so it's throwing me off. Batman, this is Mad Love, and it also comes in a colouring-in book, which they've given me. Which I'm
that's great.
Now, everyone in the office recommended this series to me. It's Gotham Academy. and I've got the first 2 issues of this one. I want to read that one and possibly review it as well. If you do want to see me review it, tweet at me, use Power Bomb, or comment below, because I only do it if I know that someone cares. If no one cares, I'm not going to do it. And the last one is Batgirl. I think
that's a great cover.
Ones as well. Yeah, so I'm excited to get stuck into those. There's so many there. So thank you, DC, for getting me started. I don't read comics because my imagination's so vivid, I just need the words. Describe a place and I'll fill in the blanks. And comics is like all picture with just only a bit of dialogue or text. I like it the other way around. But anyway, that's a good start for me. Do you guys read comics?
I don't, but I just grabbed a bunch on Free Comic Book Day, and I'm gonna try and pick a couple of those out and maybe give them a shot. And I got X-Men, Kenny X-Men, one of the newer series of that, issue 1, and I got The Punisher, one of the newer series of that, issue 1. So I want to try to get this read train continue to rolling with this momentum and maybe read some comics too.
Nice.
We've got a few people commenting in. McLeod, sorry, really quickly. McLeod has said, hey, Maude, what are your opinions on the Wheel of Time books? Kaz and Shona have read them. They love them. It's getting turned into a TV series. This is my copy here. It looks new. It's not read yet. I'm getting onto it. It's on my list. I'll get there. And Robulus18 has said, Maude, have you started the Poe Dameron comics? Nope, not yet.
There's so many comics.
What were you about to say, Shona? So many comic books.
Oh, no, I was just talking about comics. I go through stages where I read them. Certainly, if I'm a big fan of a series, like I'm a massive Tomb Raider fan, so I've been reading and collecting the comics that they've been releasing that fill in the gap between the games and all of that. But generally, yeah, I prefer reading lots and lots of words and, yeah, letting my imagination do the work too.
And I love also reading it before anything's been cast or anything's been made official, and I want to compare to see how similar we're on the same page or not. At the Grey Bomb said 10 books. I read the Casca series and it was 36 books. Check it out, it's awesome. Way to sell a series. There's 36 of them.
Oh my.
I need more than there's 36 of them. I need to hear that it's the best series you've ever read and it's worth every page. But what are you reading at the moment? Let us know. Obviously, it just shows that when we talk about what we like and when we champion a book, people listen and we're swapping favorite fandoms, which is so important, I feel. Last but not least, though, doing. Shona, you are hitting up doing today. What's doing?
I am. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm in India. But that's for work, and so I don't feel like I've been doing anything particularly geeky apart from my job, which is technology. I did speak to one of my colleagues about gaming and gaming culture in India. Certainly when you see all of the shops here, and I haven't been into any big shopping malls, but I've been through lots of streets and little villages, and they have all these tiny little shops, and a lot of them look quite run down, but they're absolutely jam full of things like books and food. I haven't seen any game shops though. So I asked one of my colleagues, when we were talking about the traffic actually, so the traffic in India is crazy. There's basically no rules. You have these highways with major intersections and no lights or roundabouts, and the cars just go, and I don't know why there aren't more accidents. But my driver that I had, especially in the first week, is a maniac, and he's just going at full speed, zipping into the smallest gaps and honking his horn, and he does not want to stop. And I'm thinking back to games like Crazy Taxi and all of that. So I was describing the traffic as a video game. So I asked my colleague when I was in the car, what's the gaming culture like in India? Do many people play? And he said, yep, it's pretty big. He used to play a lot himself. In fact, he basically was addicted to games, and that's why he stopped, because he found he wasn't doing anything else. And certainly I think we all sometimes struggle with that balance between games and other responsibilities. But yeah, it's apparently pretty big here. I certainly don't know if there's any major events or meetups. I'm sure locally there are, but I haven't had the chance to experience it, and probably I won't since I've been pretty busy with work. But so that's kind of cool. I love when I travel actually checking out the geek culture in other cities and other countries. So it's definitely something I try to do.
Because there's something
I
that
think,
when you have like global servers, though, you never really see like, you have the Europe servers, the American servers, and then maybe the Australasian servers, but you
yep.
just don't really connect it. Yeah.
Exactly, and I have to say I've never really seen Indian people online. Like certainly you've always got the Asians and Americans and Europes, and I just don't remember ever really seeing a lot of Indian names. And I don't know if that's just because I wasn't looking for them, or. But when I'm thinking about Zelda Universe, which is the Zelda fan site that I run, which is pretty massive, we've got a pretty big international audience, and it's the same sort of thing. Like I've interacted with a lot of fans in other countries, but I don't really come across too many Indians, especially who are in India. Certainly maybe some who live in America or Australia. But yeah, it's something that I've just never really noticed. And I wonder if it's because it's such a massive country that maybe a lot of it's just all internal. I mean, you think about like Bollywood and the music here, it's all Indian produced, and it's almost like, well, there's so much here, they don't really need any of the outside stuff, even though apparently it's quite popular too. But
it's very insular, their culture, so it's like it's very prominent and huge there. And when it's like the only instance that I know where Australia's kind of gotten into Bollywood, it's the cricket players, because West Indies and the cricket. So Australian cricketers will somehow appear in a Bollywood movie all about them, but you just don't hear about it here.
No, yeah, it's funny. They all ask me, where are you from? As soon as I say Melbourne, MCG, it's the best stadium, and I'm like, yeah, I'm more into football than cricket, but.
I didn't know that. Are you? What are you into?
Oh, I love like Aussie rules football. So I used to play when I was in high school. I used to play heaps of sports actually, and cricket's actually one of the few sports I find rather boring. I like sports with a bit more action. So yeah, I used to play cricket, soccer, tennis. I used to like be a gymnast and a swimmer when I was a lot younger. So I do love sports actually, but I just can't connect on the cricket thing.
Aussie rules, it's ironic because there are no rules in Aussie rules, but it's called Aussie rules. It's the sloppiest game I've ever seen. It's like, here's a ball, get it over there, don't care how, don't care where, do it. And you're like, blah, 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 and that's the game.
Chaos ensues and someone wins.
That's it. But it's a field full of really good-looking, tall, lean guys. So I'm like,
really small, short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kaz and I are on the same page.
I'm getting a little creepy. Okay.
So I put it out there to you guys.
There you go.
I might be changing the subject a little bit, so if you wanted to say something.
Nah, you go.
So I was just continuing the doing theme. So something I wanted to bring up briefly was geeky weddings, because I did get married about 2 months ago now. Yay. And as soon as, my now husband and I announced our engagement, because we are both big gamers and geeks, and that's basically how we met and connected, everyone started asking, so are you going to have a geeky wedding? I cosplay, so people wanted to know, are you going to have a costume-themed wedding? Are you going to have a themed thing? People, just kept on asking. And the answer is that no, we didn't. But we had a lot of little subtle geeky references that we put into the wedding. So we decided that we didn't really want to alienate like the friends and family who aren't really from the geeky circles. And at the same time, when I was looking at things like wedding cakes and all this inspiration, like Pinterest is amazing for that, I found a lot of it was kind of tacky. So it probably just wasn't really to my taste to have like everything like pixelated, or I mean, it's just, I'm sure if you did that well, it would be amazing. But I also didn't want to spend like tons and tons of money because weddings are just ridiculous. So we basically decided, let's just do the things we want to do, and just because it's tradition doesn't mean we'll do it. We'll just throw it away if we don't like it. But we put a whole lot of little subtle references in. So we're both massive Zelda fans, so we had like Triforces on all the stationery, but I kind of like incorporated that into a wider design. So I added, some little swirls and flourishes, and basically came up with just a pretty graphic. So if you didn't know it was a Triforce, you didn't know it was a Triforce. You just thought, oh, it's some pretty embellishments. But then my friends who knew what it was, they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then, like Dave wore little Triforces on his cufflinks, and I had a little Triforce on my bouquet. We even actually put the words power, wisdom, and courage into our vows, which was pretty cool. And again, no one noticed it unless they knew, unless they were a Zelda fan. So we actually had to try really hard not to burst out laughing while we were saying the vows, like during the actual ceremony, because we had a lot of fun, like trying to write them in advance. And we're sort of like, I can't believe we're doing this, but it's like our wedding, so we're going to do what we want. And then at the reception as well, we played, we had a DJ, and we provided them with a bunch of music. We had some game music in there, and I think the funniest one was, I don't know if you guys have heard the Waluigi version of Uptown Funk.
Oh my God, I need to.
You have to. It's on YouTube. So basically, it's the Uptown Funk, but with Waluigi putting in a bunch of sound effects, and it's hilarious. So we gave that one to the DJ, and at the very end of the night, they decided, all right, guys, this is the last song, so we're going to make it something really funky, so get on the dance floor and let's, hear it for Uptown Funk, because I just written Uptown Funk and in brackets Waluigi version, so they probably didn't know what that meant, and they thought it would just be the normal song. No. So the first few beats are the normal song, so everyone gets up on the dance floor, and then all of a sudden, wah! Waluigi comes in. And everyone who didn't know, their faces, just for that split second, it was hilarious. It's like, what is this? But then, everyone just got into it, and we just were partying so hard, and it was really amazing way to end the night, but it's still funny that we played it at our wedding. So
I have to confess, I went to my friend's wedding a couple of weekends ago at Yosemite Falls, and the whole wedding was absolutely beautiful, picturesque, and then at the reception, when the cake came out, there was a little Link on the top of the cake. Aww. And it's the groom loved Link, and he goes, that's what I want. And she loved the Muppets, and she kind of felt like she was Janice in the band, and so she was on the top of the cake next to Link. And I shit you not, there was a cued special song in the light up for the dance floor, and they disappeared a little bit beforehand, and then when this song came on, they came out, both of them, dressed as Gandalf the Grey, and they had the beards and the top, the hats and everything, and they had a choreographed dance that they danced to, both of them as Gandalf, and I was like, I want to marry both of you.
That's brilliant.
Nice. And speaking of songs, I just want to give a shout out to Eric Buchholz, who's from Zelda Reorchestrated and also formerly worked with the Zelda Symphony, because he composed the song that I walked down the aisle to, which is basically a Zelda remix, and he did that especially for us. So if you're watching this, Eric, thank you so much. It was amazing, and it was a surprise for Dave, so he had no idea what would start playing when I came down the aisle, and it was Zelda, of course.
That's fantastic.
That's really beautiful. I want to hear that song, actually. I just want it, just to listen to it.
Yeah, actually, I've been planning to upload it.
Yes, please.
Must.
Yes. Must. As I show off my Triforce tattoo. Freaky12 said, Geeky Weddings, Imperial Star Wars style wedding, heck yes. And Jazz Parks, fellow bomber, says, Shona, my partner and I are engaged and we're both geeky gamers. I love that you added small things. And that's probably what we'll do for our wedding. Have you got any advice?
Can Ewok down the aisle.
Yeah, well, I think basically what I did was try to blend them in so that they were subtle. So if you didn't know what it was, you didn't WTF. You just, oh, that's something nice. So same thing with the music that I was walking down the aisle. If you didn't know it was a Zelda theme, you probably just thought it was a nice piece of music. So I think, at the end of the day, it's your wedding, and if you want to do something outrageous and geeky and just nerd out, then go for it.
Do it. Hell yeah. Well, that's kind of all we have time for today on this week's Powered by Geek Bomb. I wanted to go through a few questions that have come up on Twitter. Big shout out to everyone who's commenting. Fernanda has said, book recommendation, Throne of Glass. It's about a girl that has to become an assassin, and she is awesome. There's epic fights, some love stories, sneaking around, and sarcastic comments. I finished the first 2 books in 3 days. I don't know if anyone's read that one.
Yeah, the first two, I have read these. I could actually do like a whole stream about these series actually because, yeah, I love the first two books. I have issues with the fourth book, but I'm invested enough in the series that I cannot wait to see how it ends. So there's meant to be 6 books altogether. It's basically young adult fantasy. So yeah, this girl who becomes an assassin, but she's an assassin trying to get her freedom, but then she's learning more about her past, and it gets pretty crazy. It's pretty cool.
I just went on audible.com and added that to my wish list as well. That's easy. I'm on Twitter, so guys, if you do want to use that hashtag PWRBomb, there's plenty here. Let's have a look. Alan Rissam at Zane Rissam. I hope I'm getting that right. Rissal, what's a Rissal? Are there any new Punderwear designs in the works? Will there be any more limited time offers like the Star Wars theme? We have designs still that we will be releasing over time, and if there is a big event, we will be doing limited edition ranges, absolutely. Ryan is a pun gun genius. He's punderful.
I have a good understanding of the way it works.
So we'll keep that going. He also asked, do you guys always have a full power? What's the most important one to you if you had to choose? Would it be playing, watching, or reading? Who's got an answer for that?
Reading, probably. Reading or watching. I was never allowed to play video games as a kid, so I don't have that deep inside me need to play video games like I do with reading. Like, when everyone else was playing on Game Boy, my parents were like, you don't need that, have a book. Yeah. Which was awesome, but also sucked.
Yeah. I don't know what mine would be. Probably reading. The thing about playing is that you have to be in a particular place, whereas reading you can do it on the go. And anywhere. I think I like that freedom. Yeah. What did you say, Ryan?
I just said you can anywhere. Because you were talking about.
Oh, no. Out of PWR.
Oh, I would say watching. I just love drama TV shows, and I can sit there and marathon the heck out of pretty much anything if I like. So, yeah, definitely watching.
Next question is from Dominic at Baxhorn, who said, are you Team HTV Vive or Team Oculus Rift? Have you guys bought any of the VR headsets or anything?
Not me.
No.
Have you tried any?
No.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it at PAX, but I was too late to put my name down.
Oh.
Oh.
Ollie Mawson. Oh, yeah? Which one did you like?
Sorry, lag. So certainly I've been following the Oculus probably the most closely, like from the early models up until the consumer model. But I still feel like it's a little bit of a novelty, and I can't justify it yet.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that honestly VR is going to be a phase. And by the time it gets any good, augmented reality will be there, and you don't have that clunky headwear. I just think that the accessories do well. Like the 3D TV didn't go off because you needed glasses for it.
Well, we'll have the Oasis.
Yeah, that's it. I was going to say that.
Yeah. Ollie Mawson at Underpants Gnome said, what do you guys think of the Warcraft movie? It seems very CGI heavy. For the soundtrack, I'll think they'll use a full orchestra. I've seen the movie.
Oh, lucky.
I can't talk about it for another 17 days.
Oh my gosh.
But what do you guys think of it?
The 3 people that haven't seen it. It looks really cool.
I don't know.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
It could be good.
Yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical about game movies in general, but I'll go see it.
Okay, sweet. Well, I think that's kind of it for Powered by Geek Bomb this week. Great questions that were coming through. I love it when everyone shares about them. Super TJ 2003 said, have you read Eragon? Read Eragon. I've read the first 3, not the 4th. But yes, I found those to be quite an easy read. And I think I remember meeting Christopher, what's his last name? Paolini. At one of the supernovas that happened in Sydney like 3 years ago. And the kid's like 24, and he's like signing my book, and I was like, thanks son. Stay in school, kids.
You know?
Like shit. So that was really cool. Next week we'll make sure you're following Geek Bomb on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe to the Geek Bomb channel if you haven't done so yet, because we'll be back next week, a whole new slew of bombers to talk about what they're playing, watching, reading, and doing. But for now, if you want a Punderwear shirt, you know what to do. t.pub/ what is it again, Ray? I'll put it in there.
T-Public. Yeah.
T-Public. There's some dots.
t.pub/geekbomb.
Yeah, you could just go to tpublic.com/geekbomb. The quick link is like T. It's kind of complicated to say. There's
a few dots and slashes in there.
Yeah.
But there'll be more stuff coming on there soon, and hopefully when I get my designs, you'll be able to see them, what they look like. But until then, we'll see you this time next week, or an hour earlier when it starts. Goodbye, guys. The bomb has been
dropped.
Can we try one more time if you remind me what it is?
Yeah. I don't think you've ever done it before, but, you know, if we can do it. The bomb has been
dropped.
Yeah,
that was worth it.
We have a delay. To be fair, we have a delay.
We have
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.